Okay. Good afternoon to all. The world is celebrating March 14th as Pi Day, the mathematical constant. Today is also the birth anniversary of the great scientist Albert Einstein, whose contributions revolutionized modern physics. On this auspicious day, it is indeed meaningful that we gather for a session on research productivity and academic writing, as both Pi and Einstein symbolize curiosity, scientific inquiry, and the pursuit of knowledge that drives meaningful research. With this piece of knowledge, I take the honor to welcome you all to the fourth session of 7-day national level virtual faculty development program on integrated approach to faculty well-being and pedagogical excellence. Honorable Principal, distinguished resource person, respected faculty members of our college and dear participants. I take this privilege to welcome you all to today's session on research productivity and academic writing. On behalf of the Government First Grade College Kadugudi and the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to all the participants to this resourceful session, which is sure to help us enhance our academic profile and strengthen our research and writing practice. Now, I request Ms. Shilpa, Associate Professor, Department of Physics, to introduce today's resource person to the session. Okay. Over to Shilpa.
Good afternoon to everybody. Ginimon is our special resource person today, who is a chemist, has specialized in polymer chemistry, got his doctorate for his thesis, Thermal and Mechanical Characteristics of Novel Peroxide, Crude Ethylene Propylene Interpolymer Neoferrine Composite Films, and Clay Graphite Fillers, and from the uh, Manoன்மயம் Sundaranara University. His paper presented in Indraprastha International Conclave on nanoscience and technology. He was a project fellow in DRDO funded project. He has 15 publications to his credit with a high impact factor. He also holds one patented title, AI driven platform for predicting reactions, pathways, and yields, an environmentalist and an international resource person in diverse topics, including environment and ICT. He is working in nanotechnology, polymer nanocomposite, spectroscopy, pharmaceuticals, and molecular docking. A fellow of Indian Congress Science Congress, member of the editorial board for journals. He is also a reviewer in 5 international journals, which includes Elsewhere journal also. Being an organizing committee member of many international conferences, notably Sanyo, China, Singapore. He has been an invited speaker in 10 national and 6 international conferences, including one at Singapore. He has acted as a resource person in 7 high credit courses, which includes one HRDC faculty induction program in Central University, India. He is the president of International Environment Congress Association, an academic platform for experts to converge, share knowledge, and collaborate towards a better future for all planets. An excellent chemistry professor, having enormous experience in teaching all levels of chemistry and well versed in providing courses in Moodle portal. Currently, he is teaching in the postgraduate department of chemistry and research, Nasmoni Memorial Christian College, Marthandam near Cape Comorin. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful introduction of the guest. Now I request Dr. Ginimon to kindly take over the session. Over to you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, ma'am, for that nice introduction about me. Hope you can hear me. Ma'am, am I audible? Yeah. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon to you all. In this very good afternoon. And in this session, I really thank Dr. Vasanta and all the organizing committee members for giving me this opportunity to present my talk on the topic research productivity, academic writing. Uh, this 7-day national level FDP on integrated approach to faculty well-being and pedagogical excellence, organized by the government first grade college Kadugudi, Bengaluru, has a theme of which emphasizes on faculty well-being, innovation, research, and academic excellence. And based on this, my talk will be connecting research productivity with sustainable academic life. Hearty welcome to all the participants and the organizers. Talking about research, I will give a few definitions of research which I got from the literature. Research is a careful and detailed study into a specific problem, a concern or issue using the scientific method. And it can be mentioned as the creation of new knowledge. It is also defined as the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way so as to generate new concepts, methodologies, and understandings. It's a process of solving problems and finding facts in an organized way. Okay. So with this, we'll move on into our topic. Why research matters for a teacher. Hope we are all teachers present here or academicians. Why research matters for us? When you consider teaching or higher education teaching, we have two fundamental pillars for higher education, that is teaching and research. Teaching helps us transfer existing knowledge, while research helps us create new knowledge. So both are interrelated. And a teacher who actively engages in research will be updating subject knowledge regularly, will be improving teaching quality, will develop or should have been developed critical thinking, and in turn, it contributes to the society. For example, let me give you a chemistry teacher as an example. This chemistry teacher who explains, when he or she explains water purification, they are supposed to conduct research on low-cost filtration methods using local materials. This research not only enhances classroom teaching, but also benefits the community. So, a topic on water purification, a research on water purification will be a benefit for the community. Similarly, when you consider a commerce faculty, they may do research on digital payment behavior. A language faculty may research on translation techniques. A physics faculty may research renewable energy systems. Thus, research connects theory with real-life application. The research also plays a crucial role in institutional accreditation, faculty career advancement, knowledge generation, national development. On the whole, research should not be seen as an extra burden, but as a natural extension of it. Moving on to the next heading, Understanding the research productivity. Research productivity refers to the ability of a faculty member to produce meaningful scholarly outputs. These outputs can be research articles in journals, hope you all know about it, books or book chapters, conference presentations, presenting our research work in a conference in the midst of academicians and researchers, research projects, applying for research projects and continuing them, patents and innovations, finding new discoveries, new ideas, registering them. Uh, then we have consultancy and applied research. These are working research works apart from our academic activities. So, research productivity comes under all these categories. Again, research productivity is not only about quantity, but also about quality and the impact it have. For instance, a faculty member publishing one highly cited research article may contribute more than someone publishing many low impact papers. Thus, the productivity should balance quality, relevance, and consistency. So these are the three important qualities: the quality of the work, its relevance, and consistency. So glad. Talking about the research productivity, we have three things. We should take three things in our mind. The first one is research mindset. The second one is research planning, and the next one is research community. Research mindset. Research begins with curiosity. Of course, in most of the cases, proper research, those researches other than which you are done by compulsion or by for the need of some sort of degree. Basically, research begins with curiosity. Most of the researchers, those who do true research, constantly ask questions such as, why does this thing happen? Can be improved? Or is there a better solution? Research gives answers, or these questions provide the route for true research to move on. Talking about research planning, research requires systematic planning. That's very important. And without planning, research ideas remain incomplete. The planning includes defining research objectives, choosing methodologies, setting timelines, and identifying. These four are very important because unless and until you define your research and its objective, the direction is not the direction or the route cannot be planned. The map cannot be made. Once the objective is fixed, then you choose the methodology, the methods which can be followed, the procedures which can be carried out to reach that objective. Then setting timelines for each steps or each methods. And finally, identifying the proper resources to continue this. If I could give you an example, if a researcher wants to study microplastics in drinking water, the planning stages include identifying sample locations, selecting analytical techniques, determining the number of samples, and planning statistical analysis. These are the things. This is I mentioned just for an example. Next comes the research communication. Now, can you please hear me? Okay. Hope you can hear me now. When you talk about research communication, a research becomes meaningful only when it is shared with the academic community. And this communication occurs through journal publication, conferences, seminars, books. A discovery that is not published remains unknown. It's just like delayed justice is denied. A discovery that is not published remains unknown. Hence, the saying goes, research not published is research not done. So, communicating the research is very important for the research to be worthy. Identifying research opportunities. One of the biggest challenges faculty face is finding a research topic. However, research ideas are everywhere. The difficulty comes what to select, how to select, where to select in the plenty. So when you go into the sea, you find a lot of pebbles, stones, decorative on plants, etc. But when you are instructed to select just one, you select what something of your interest or something which is attractive, something which has more scope, and a lot of things are there when you keep your foot into the research world. So that's why the biggest challenge is finding or fixing the research idea or the topic. In this case, the first source is teaching. Teaching generates many research questions. For example, a mathematics teacher may notice students struggling with the conceptual understanding of calculus. Calculus is one of the toughest papers in mathematics. And this can lead to research such as effectiveness of visual learning tools in teaching calculus. So when a teacher finds difficulty in hope it's audible. Ma'am, hope everything is fine. Audio is clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so when a teacher finds a student getting difficulty in understanding certain concepts, they try some other new methodologies, and that itself forms a new research. Next one, local community problems. Research should also address local societal issues. Example, when you have our district Kanyakumari, it's a coastal region. And in our area, research may focus on seawater intrusion, coastal pollution, fisheries sustainability. And such research has practical relevance and societal impact. Not just Kanyakumari district alone, any region which is surrounded by sea will have such issues which can be corrected, or some good amount of research can be done in these topics. Next one is the literature gap. Another source of research ideas is the existing research literature. When reading journals, we often notice unanswered questions, contradictory results, and most of the case, unexplored areas. And even when we read, study those some concepts already explained by scientists, each concept will have something advantage and some disadvantage. And this disadvantage will be corrected by the next equation which followed, which is found derived by some other scientists. And that is how the research keeps on moving. So day by day, the gaps gets filled, but more gaps gets filled, more research gets developed, and more gaps are formed. So thereby, when existing literature itself, existing research science or whatever may be, literature itself will give you a lot of ideas. Those may be unanswered questions, contradictory results which are out of the box or in some cases unexplored areas. And these gaps become research opportunities. You can take it. Here. You can see an example here. Many studies on graphene oxide composites focus on mechanical properties. This is very common. Mechanical properties is one of the most important phenomenon in material science. And graphene oxide composites, most of the cases, they are studied for this in this fact, that is mechanical. But very less studies examine electrical sensing properties. And when someone comes across this one, this gap can lead to a research project. So why not, why mechanical properties alone? Why can't we go for this electrical sense? Likewise, we can keep on bridging the gaps, filling the gaps, try new routes. All these things can be done. So previous literature or the current literature, research literatures will provide a lot of opportunities for us. And this is the funnel-shaped track for narrowing down the research topic. A broad field, be it renewable energy. Then moving on to a specific topic, solar energy. Bridging the gap, low efficiency of solar cells. And the question, can nanomaterials improve solar cell efficiency? To answer this question, you have to do devise a methodology, do some investigations, and come out with answer. Simple research form. This is the problem. Take the problem, I have just mentioned. Research question, moving on to hypothesis, and ending up in investigation. An example. Take the problem, plastic waste. What is the question? Can biodegradable materials replace plastic packaging? And the hypothesis predicted is natural polymer films may provide eco-friendly alternatives. And finally, we investigate to develop and test these polymer films and find them. Some strategies to improve our research productivity. Many faculty members feel they do not have time for us. That's usually a common thing because we are filled, we are almost, our time schedule is filled with our houseworks, our academic works from the college. And when you consider all these things, we feel there is no time for research. We are not bound to do all those things. However, productivity depends more on consistent effort than long working hours. Consistency is very much important in this case. We will see a few points in this strategy cases. First strategy is time management. Instead of waiting for long free periods, allocate small but regular time slots. There is long free periods versus small but regular time slots. Daily, say 30 minutes daily literature reading, 30 minutes writing every day. And when we follow this short regular time slots, within a few months, this becomes a complete research paper or a complete research problem in your hands, or a complete idea which can give fruit or pay way for a perfect research paper. This is how strategy one tells you to manage the time. Strategy two is research collaboration. Collaboration increases research productivity, and its benefits include sharing expertise, access to instruments, interdisciplinary ideas. A single person cannot do everything on its own. No single human can survive in this work. We are interdependent. The same way, research can also be interdependent. It should be interdependent. Only then you will get more fruits. Unless and otherwise, you work in a very big instrumentation center which has all the facilities, with all the paper access, article access, book access, vast library reading session chances, and all the facilities inside a single campus. You can't survive without collaboration. You can see how interdisciplinary researchers survive. A chemistry researcher studying nanomaterials can collaborate with a physics researcher for analytical measurements, a biologist for toxicity studies, and this leads to high quality interdisciplinary research. That is what is nanotechnology about. The next one is build research groups. Our departments should form small research clusters. Say, one research group may focus on renewable energy, the other on educational technology, the other on rural development. And such groups, they share ideas and support each other. So small clusters, just as we do our splitting our work into small groups, or so doing those groups one by one, set of works one by one. Research groups can share ideas and support each other. As academic teachers, this is a very important resource which we have to use. Use the student projects. Student dissertations can become research publications. For example, a PhD student project on water quality analysis can produce useful data, which on proper analysis and writing can become a journal article. When you do a good amount of work, it becomes a good article. A normal amount of work, a normal article. And based on the work, you can publish it or you can communicate. So student projects are a good strategies for academic researchers, those who are working in colleges. The most important one is start small. What happens in it? Many researchers, we wait for large funded projects. When we see our fellow researchers getting huge amount of amount per project, crores and crores, we try to apply one or two, and when we doesn't get fruitful in that submissions, we feel dejected and okay, that's not my cup of tea, so I leave it. That's not the case. What you are supposed to do is begin with smaller out, and such as review articles, chart communications, case studies. And when you go for such a small publications, we get confidence and experience grows. Once you get good experience, confidence builds and things moves on faster. So always start small. Something has to be started first. Only then we can go bigger. Next, the biggest challenge we will face is academic writing. Well, we can do a good work, but what happens? We struggle to write papers. Common reasons can be fear of rejection. In some cases, lack of writing structure, this methodology, the format that has to be written. And for some, it's language also. Fear of rejection can be psychologically managed. The lack of writing structure and language barriers, these two things can be corrected by hard work. However, academic writing is a skill that can be learned and improved. So, if you have minds, you can improve. That's always. Hope you have heard about this IMRAD, IMRA. Most scientific papers follow this IMRAD format. And it's this: I for introduction, M for methods, R for results, A for ant, and D for discussion. Introduction mentions what problem are we studying, and methods or methodology. How did we conduct the research? Results will give you what we found, and In the discussion, we'll explain what the results mean. A little about the introduction. What is the problem? Why is it important? What gap exists in existing research? When you predict in this topic, solar energy materials, the introduction can explain the increasing energy demands, limitations of current materials, and the need for improved materials. Talking about methods or methodology followed, this describes how the research was conducted, which includes materials used, experimental procedures, data analysis techniques. In this example, we talk about environmental research. The methods can include sample collection, laboratory analysis, and statistical methods. Moving on to the results. The results section presents research findings. These are often presented through tables, graphs, images, or many other forms of statistical papers. Here in this example, the graph shows the efficiency of a new solar cell material. Efficiency can be in the form of any form of charts, a bar chart, pie chart, the curves, etc. In case of microscopic images, you can find particle size by using TEM. When you talk about spectra, we have IR, NMR, those study a lot of molecular structures and all. In the discussion parts, what the result means, how they compare with previous studies, implication of the findings, and this section is where the scientific contribution becomes clear. Moving on to how writing high quality research papers. When I talk about writing, effective writing, it requires clarity and logical organization. Clarity is very important, and organization, actually the format, which one comes first, which one to be followed. That order is very important. Only then that will end up in proper confusion. And the person who reads the article will get a proper idea about what is explained and what is the finding. So effectiveness in writing requires clarity and local organization, logical organization. In this step, the first one is read extensively. You just can't do a research and complete an article overnight. Reading is very important. Literature survey, and that's why most of the theses they have literature review, and in some cases most of them are done just for the sake of procedure. But actual research needs extensive reading. Before writing, read 15 to 20 research papers in the same field, the same topic, if possible, in the same material. And this helps in understanding the writing style, those who are new to writing, the structure, because each topic, be it science, the way of writing is different. In the case of arts, there's another style of writing. So to understand the writing style, the structure, and the research gaps, reading is very important. A person who reads one article a day will read 365 articles in a year. And in our days of research, anyone who reads this much number of paper will write research problems just like that. That's what we say when we were doing research in the early 2000s. Okay, second one is prepare an outline. After having an extensive reading, we should have a clear outline which helps organize our thoughts. Once our thoughts are organized, then we can go for the next stage. Here, the example is research problem, literature review, methodology, results, and discussion. This is a proper organization. Next, write section by section. We people in an enthusiasm, what we do is try to write the whole paper or the whole thesis on a whole. That's not the way. We should not attempt to write the entire paper all at once or all in a single sprint. We can start one by one. First methods, results, discussion, introduction, and finally abstract. When you do part by part, you will be you will face less issues. Your writing will be good. You will be error free. All those things are there. So it's better to write section by section. The important thing is after writing, revision and edition. Good writing requires multiple revisions. Unless and until read your paper repeatedly, you will never find errors. You will make a lot of mistakes. The way of presentation will be lacking. We have to check for clarity, grammar correction, flow, logical flow, and proper citations. Each and every work has to be cited properly so that our work will be crystal clear. Talking about publication ethics and journal selection. This is very important. Ethical research practices are essential. Honesty, integrity, and responsibility. When you present a work, when you write an article, these three things are very much important. And the most thing to avoid is predatory journals. Talking about predatory journals, they charge high fees, they lack proper peer review, they publish low quality papers. And the most important thing is publishing in such journals may or will damage our academic reputation. So we should avoid predatory journals in most of the cases. Next thing, avoiding plagiarism. Plagiarism means using someone else's work without proper acknowledgement, like copying text directly from another article without citation. And most of the journals, they check plagiarism using good software. Nowadays, we are having huge amount of AI software. The thing is, AIs help us writing, drafting text, and these AI fellows only, they check for plagiarism also. Therefore, we are supposed to paraphrase carefully and cite sources properly. Selection, journal selection. When selecting journals, we should consider the scope of the journal because every journal has a scope. Even though the title may be relevant to our work, when you read the scope, only then you can pinpoint select certain journals. Some journals, the topic will be very broad, but their scope will be very narrow. In that case, it's a very high chance of rejection. So we are supposed to select journals properly, check for their indexing in Scopus, Web of Science, or any other good indexing. Based on your quality of the work, you can go for good impact factor also. The most important thing is review process. Those journals will have good review process. They are worthy ones, and good journals, they have a very strong review process. They never just easily publish paper. And choosing the right journal increases the chance of acceptance. In this case, most of the publishers, Elsewhere, and all those people, they provide the journal finder apps. You copy paste your abstract in that app and that server, and they will provide you the list of articles which are comfortable in publishing that type of work. So selection of journals is very important. And this is the most important one, which combines all what we have heard till now. Observing or preparing the problem, identifying proper questions from the core research, doing good literature review, finding the research gap, then formulating its objectives, getting hypothesis, getting ready hypothesis, designing the research by proper methodology, following proper methodology or listing, then data collection, analysis of data, writing it, discussing it, submitting, peer review, publication, and getting proper impact. Okay, we'll move on to a little more in-depth sustainable research. Hope you might be wondering, what's this sustainable research? No, I am not talking about anything sustainable related to environment. This is much better, if I could mention it, is sustainable life. Our faculties, we often express stress due to academic responsibilities, and that's true. When you handle your family, your job, your research, and all those things, it comes together, there will be a bit of stress. But research productivity should not harm personal well-being also. That's very important. So in this case, we can maintain a very good work-life balance, collaborate instead of working alone, celebrate small achievements. When you celebrate each and every small achievement, that day by day work ingredient. When we do research, what assignment given to us is, we will have a work target. Maybe our objective is one, but we won't be pushed forward. What will be given is one step a day. You have read a paper today. Oh, that's the one step. You have found the dealer of the chemical to purchase. Oh, that's another step. You have talked to a person regarding setting up the lab. That's a one step. So one step a day. That's always an important thing. So we have to celebrate that small achievements. When we think, we might be, we have just started our work today, and the fellow on the next table, he might have completed his work and he might have published one. And when you compare yourself with that fellow, you will be sitting on gossiping and crying that he has done that and this, and I couldn't do this much also. Not that. That's not that big. Whatever you do, because our life is our research, we celebrate our achievements, whether it is small or big. So keep on moving day by day. One step ahead each day. And the last one is maintain curiosity and passion. These two should be, the energy should be maintained very well. And research should be seen as a journey of discovery, and it should not be a source of pressure. Keep this in mind when you do research. Whatever you do it with passion and curiosity. Celebrate small achievements. Do collaboration so that your work gets shared, your pleasure gets shared, even your workload gets shared. Maintain proper work-life balance. Only then this journey of discovery will be fruitful and pleasant, or else it will be a pressure cooker. This is just an pictorial of what the previous slide which I mentioned. Let's not experience the stress, or let's not stress ourselves into limited source. No, I can't. No, it's never like that. Just move as one step ahead every day. Whether the step may be a bigger one or a smaller one, that's never that. Research productivity is built on 4 key elements, or if I could say the 4 C's. The C's are curiosity, consistency, collaboration, and communication. Curiosity asks meaningful questions. Consistency gives you regular effort. Collaboration provides working with others, and publishing and sharing knowledge. Every faculty member has the potential to contribute to research. It's not the other way. The journey begins with a simple question and grows through dedication. Consistency. Peter Drucker said, research is creating new knowledge. And research in life is important every day. Research empowers us, It gives good understanding of our life. It improves the quality of life. And this is about your research about your life. Because each and every day, when you do research in the way of living, the things you do, not out of there is, I'm not talking about academic research. This is researching about our own life, whatever may be the case. When you think of your well-being, the things you do daily, you can change, you can empower your activities. You will have a good understanding in the things you do. The quality of the life improves. When you keep on thinking about your day-to-day activities, your quality improves and it benefits to proper improvements and developed life, because life itself is a research. And when we think about research, we often imagine laboratories and publications. Dear friends, that's not the case at all. In reality, you can see the image there. Life itself is a form of research. And when the if you see what is behind that research takes, something messy. Yeah? Every day we observe a lot of things. We ask a lot of questions. We test to the ideas. We learn from mistakes and we discover something new each and every day. The complex pattern behind the word research reminds us that knowledge comes from connecting many small ideas. It's all. Knowledge comes from connecting many small ideas. So, dear friends, research is not just a profession. It's a way of thinking and a way of living. Be a researcher, cherish in your life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for providing such an in-depth insights in the field of research. Now, the platform is open for discussion. Participants may kindly share their questions and interact with the resource person by unmuting yourself. Many questions. Not post.
The first question available is feedback, please. That's always the first question whichever participants ask, How do we connect to journals? Connecting in the sense, I'm not clear what sort of connection you are expecting, whether it is finding journals approach. Actually, in our days, when you talk about our days, when we do research, when we were studying or doing our first step of research, of course, research is a continuous process. We just can't say in our research days, until we die, the research continues. And in our early days of research, when we are doing PhD, the approach, there is no way of approach. Just you log in, contact, approach their system, that is login system, journal application, the paper submission. They'll have a software server, which will be the only sort of approach. And nowadays, a lot of agents are contacting people regarding publication, but I don't think those are true ones, or they really are working ones. But best one is you get your article ready. After your abstract is ready, copy that. You go for in the elsewhere and many publications, they have journal finder option. Paste your abstract in that journal finder part, and they will suggest you the appropriate journals for that article to be published. That will be very good. And you can also follow some of those steps which I have given. Check for the scope. Based on the quality of your work, you have to select the impact factor and all those. Hope it's fine. Yes, they ask to submit and they don't respond for a long time. Even in their websites, you'll have that editor's remind. Mostly that is there. You can just check. In most of our cases, we do that. We try that. But otherwise, there is no other option. You have to wait. And even one of my scholar also last year, he waited for 1.5 years and there was no reply. And finally, we tried and got the phone number from some person. And when we contacted them, they say that that paper wasn't it sent for review also. That was set aside. So the process was again started fresh. That the thing is sort of things are there, but still you can just keep on reminding them in emails. That's what I can say. Good journals. Hope you have an email in the screen. And unless and until you know your topic or your subject you're working or your research field, I just can't mention your journals. Kindly email me. I'll share my knowledge. Share it to my knowledge. What should a research scholar expect from their guide or supervisor? Wait, that's a very good question. And expecting is be frank, you expect nothing. Why mean? Nowadays, in when we were doing our initial PhD research work, our guides they just give us ideas because if you can find your problem in your early stages of doing PhD, you are way ahead in research. That's what I am talking about. If you wait for your guide to give you the problem, give you the methodology, give you the investigation techniques and all those things, then that is something similar to doing your PG. Because in PG only your teachers give you the syllabus, they give you the questions, they give you the lecture, and finally they ask you some questions in the exam. The research is not like that. If you are able to find or get a research problem, if you are able to do that, then you will be able to find a solution problem. That's what I wish to say. Expect little guidance from your supervisors because they have done some research work. Hopefully, they can guide you. That's all. You are the one who have to find the ways. Only if you find your way through these odds, thorns, and because research is an endeavor. When you start doing research, you have face a lot of problems. When you establish your work, lot of issues will be there. But if you come across striving out of all these and coming up, it will be a real achievement. So what I wish to say is keep your gates as gates and let them just supervise your work. You get into the pond or get into the sea, strive through whatever areas you can, search whatever areas you can, come out fruitful. That's what I could say. But nowadays, a lot of gates, they are helping students to a large extent. Thank you. And as a researcher, when we observe facts and want to make original contribution, is there a possibility our thoughts getting corrupted or manipulated through excessive reading? And actually, when you do not just excessive reading, if there is something wrong reading, because when you maybe conceptually, not all things are right, and observing facts, if those are not proved well, hope you need not accept them. And when you want to make an original contribution just always rely only on facts which are proved and don't rely on just mentioned hypotheses which are not proved. UGC care list, UGC care list is not available present. And UGC has not listed because they took down the list of UGC journals. Now, I don't think there is any list available. That our universities, they are using Scopus and Web of Science as standard. There is no such list of UGC at present. Some universities, they are following the same old UGC list of journals. And some universities, they are updating, they are getting information from the guides and the scholars regarding journals. So at present, we just can't give a properly stuff it. Thank you. Thank you. Along with research papers, how can we approach funding agencies and what is the proper manner to approach them? Funding agencies at present, government funding agencies are very less, and private funding agencies are there, but how to say, the thing is, if your work is related to or some companies who are doing work related to your research field or research technique, you can contact them because they will fund your research. Most of the cases, when if you don't have UGC now, DST doesn't provide fundings now, and even in big centers, research centers, central government research centers, funding amount is very less. And when we were doing PG and PhD and all, good amount of works were there. Even if you do 6 month research in centers, they fund us. They give us scholarships and all. Now those things are very rare. So it's better select the companies or industries who need your research. You can submit your proposals to them. And some postdoc fellowships are not available. You can apply for them. Even in cases, some research institutions are providing 6 months work, and if you complete that 6 months, you will be taken into consideration for some project works to be worked with. Sir, would you tell me some good platforms where we can make our article visible? Article visible in the sense, pardon? Putting the visible means publication or ma'am? Please type it. I couldn't hear you. Articles visible means no idea, but free way to publish and scope of journals. Well, I'll come back. Actually, free way means, you see, journals will have two options. When you go through the scope of the journals, you have to check because some journals will have open access and subscription. If you opt for subscription, you will not have to pay any amount. But journals are demanding very huge money, that is $1,000, $2,000, and all those things are very common nowadays. But there are journals, free journals. In the case of, say, be it chemistry, which is my subject, and material science and nanotechnology, which is my research field, there are enough the articles or papers which are free also. But the thing is, you have to wait a little. Right, keep on throwing the ball, and let's wait for good journals to accept our work. That's what the mantra now. We just can't do anything else. Even paid journals, they never easily accept our papers. But if you wait patiently, and one thing if I could suggest is when you have some good finding done, before publishing them, just get a patent for it. That is a very simple step. If you apply for it and pay some minimum fees, you'll get it patent. And what is advantage is, in some cases, even if the publication gets late, you can keep your patent, and that's a valid academic document for your enhancement. Hope it's fine. No other questions except one, that is half. I don't know what this question is. Visibly, in the sense, you can publish it in any of, say, if some conferences, you can publish it in an ISD and GIFs and all can be published. If you have good amount of work, you can combine with two or three of your fellow scholars, fellow academicians, publish it as in a book calls. So those things are. I hope that question is answered properly. Still, I am not clear about what that madam has asked. Anyway, There is no other questions. Is there any question in between which I have left unanswered?
No, sir. You attended all the questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we'll
Yes.
stop discussing here.
Okay. Okay, madam.
If you have any other queries or any questions, you can directly contact us, sir. He has shared his email ID and also phone number. So as we are running short of time, we will conclude today's session with the vote of thanks. Feedback form has been posted in the chat box. I kindly request all the participants to fill it out. Now, I request Dr. Ratnama Madam, Physical Education Director, to deliver vote of thanks.
Thank you, madam. Good evening to all the dignitaries, faculty members, and dear participants. As we conclude today's virtual faculty development program, an integrated approach to faculty well-being and pedagogical excellency organized by IQAC, it is my privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First, I would like to convey our appreciation to our resource person, Professor Gideon sir, for delivering such an insightful knowledge about research productivity and academic development and enriching session. I extend my heartfelt thanks to our respected Principal Professor Ravi sir for guidance. My sincere thanks to Professor Vasanta Madam, Coordinator, IQAC members, and all faculty members. With gratitude to everyone who contributed to the success of today's program, I conclude my vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you all for your active participation. We will meet again tomorrow for the next session at the same time. Have a good day. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, madam.